Hello everybody, and for the first time in a little bit, welcome back to Marvel Crisis Protocol. In today's 17 threat battle, still using the old cards because that Project Zero Tolerance or whatever it's called has been sold out everywhere, so I haven't had my hands on it yet for the channel. But today, the Web Warriors are going up against the Mighty Avengers, and still tinkering with the new camera settings and stuff like that, so do bear with me. And also this will be available first to channel members, so hello channel members, and thank you so much for your support. So here are your Web Warriors for today, and usually when you play Web Warriors you want to play them wide so you have a bunch of bodies to grab objectives and do runners with them and just push and pull and annoy enemies because they aren't much for a straight up fight. But as there's new releases for them and there's more and more high threat value models, you can actually run them pretty elite. So in 17 threat there is only the 4 of them today, being led by the big expensive 5 threat version of Peter. So it's the pay 1 and you can slow a target within 2 or within 1, something like that. He is joined by new Miles, the Ultimate Spider-Man version of Miles, who is a 5 threat as well, I think, or 4 threat. Gwen's here just to fill out the 17 as a 3 threat, and then we have Spider-Man 2099. He's the other 5 threat, sorry. Yeah, and Ultimate Spider-Man is just a 4. And their tactics cards, if we pan down here, Spider-Men, Great Power, Aunt May's Wheat Cakes, all webbed up, and Brief Respite. And this marks the debut of the Mighty Avengers on the channel. By the way, if you can hear a buzzsaw in the background, I apologise. I'm hoping not, but it's very loud, so for a little while you're going to hear a neighbour's trees getting trimmed for the summer. Anyway, the Mighty Avengers are being led by Monica Rambeau. I always forget her superhero name and just call her Monica Rambeau, but she is Spectrum. She is joined by the newer, more expensive version of Captain Marvel from the Earth's Mightiest box set core set. And filling out the roster is Blue Marvel, who is 5 threat, and apparently can be very hit or miss for people, but he counts skulls as successes for like all his rolls. So on paper he sounds good, but I guess we'll see. And then also classed as a Mighty Avenger and just kind of filling out the points, we have Luke Cage, who just showed up while all these cosmic entities are flying around. And if we just come down here, oh my goodness, that is way too shiny. I've picked exactly the wrong angle to show these cards. But you know what? We can just pick them up and we can show them like that. Warpath, the Ultimates, the Man of Marvels going all out, and Phase Manipulation. And here are the 2 Crisis cards being played today, with Spider Infected being the threat value at 17. As to 5, Spider Infected you can only hold 1, and in the power phase of a turn in which you're holding 1, you roll a die, and if you roll a hit, crit, or a wild, you get moved small by the opponent. And then we also have Deadline to Destruction for this. I think we've only done the once. That's 4 detonation consoles. You score 1 VP for each one you're securing in the cleanup phase. If you interact with it, you can choose someone within 3 holding a Spider Infected in this case, and they can either choose to drop that or suffer 1 damage and gain 1 power. And there's 4 of those on the table. So if we just pan back here, they're all strewn around this central area right here, and that should hopefully give you an idea of where they are. So we'll get set up, deployed, and be back after this quick word from my channel sponsor. This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that will take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks. And with that, we are set up with the Mighty Avengers to camera right, Web Warriors to camera left, and it will be the Mighty Avengers going first. Spectrum is down here with Luke Cage, then we have Blue Marvel and Captain Marvel together, pretty much all in the centre. Gwen and Peter are to the bottom left. Roundabout in the middle is Spider-Man 2099 by himself, and then slightly above him, top left for the camera angle, is Miles. So with that, let's jump into round 1. Blue Marvel got the game started for the Mighty Avengers, moving up twice directly into the centre of the map within 1 of that central Spider Infected. He paid 1 power and has picked it up. It puts him in a dangerous position, but he's pretty strong, so we'll see how he does. I forgot to cover the Mighty Avengers affiliation bonus that Spectrum gives, by the way. If when they gain power, they can gain 1 less to give 1 to a teammate. So it's kind of a variant on the A-Force one, just slightly different. Gwen was first up for the Web Warriors. She started over by Peter here. She did not even a full movement just to get within 1 of the closest Spider Infected and paid her 1 power to pick it up. She then just moved so that she was within 1 of the closest Deadline to Destruction console there. And it's just a case of contesting, no need to interact with it yet. Spectrum activated for her Mighty Avengers, and she's also a long move, so she moved up long, which got her there, to the far side of the closest Spider Infected. She has paid 1 power to pick it up. And then she attacked Gwen. Gwen was outside of 2 though, so she couldn't use her Gamma Strike. So instead she used her Photon Blast. It's a beam, but it only caught Gwen. 4 dice energy with full rerolls and 1 flat power generated off of it. She managed to get 3 hits through, and Gwen, who I always lament does not have Spider Sense for some reason, whiffed entirely on her defense roll and has taken 3 damage just like that. Never change, Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's nice to have you back. By the way, if you do have Spectrum's card, it was printed with an error because AMG's kind of been slacking. So her spender is listed as being free. So just make sure you don't play it as free, because that would be insanely overpowered, considering it's 8 dice, range 3. I think its actual cost is 4, but I can't remember offhand. Luke Cage activated and just sauntered on up to the closest console and is just staying there. He didn't do anything with his other action, he's just holding the backline objective for his team. Spider-Man 2099 activated. He is a medium move, which he did to the far side of their closest console, and then he targeted Blue Marvel. His organic web shots range 4 and it's 5 dice, which is pretty decent. He generates 1 flat power off of just doing it, regardless of whether it does damage or not. And on a hit, he has Pursuit, where he must advance small, but he pushed himself forward just the tiniest amount. I don't think you have to do the full small. If that is the case, then that was done incorrectly. But he managed to get a bunch of hits. Blue Marvel, with his 4 defense dice against physical, also did really well. Didn't actually roll any skulls, which is doubly bad because he generates extra power if he rolls at least 1 skull. And Spider-Man 2099 generates extra power if he rolls at least 1 crit, so he's the same as Amazing Spider-Man Peter in that regard. They have the same part of that rule, so he generated himself 2 power off of that as a result, and 2 damage got through, which is pretty good. Up the top end of the table there, Captain Marvel activated final activation of the first turn for the Mighty Avengers, and she has just moved medium twice, getting as close to that console as she can and picking up the closest spider infected on the way. So now the only unpicked up spider infected is the one to the bottom left there, which I guess Miles is going to go grab now. Yep, sure enough, this version of Miles is a long move, so he was able to stop part way in 1 movement action to pick up the spider infected, and then use the other to get close enough to be securing that console. Didn't have any power to activate it to hurt anybody, but is the only one holding it because Carol's not within 1. So with that, we're already at scoring for Battle Round 1. We completely did that out of order there, and Peter's activation, as a result, should not have happened here because Luke Cage and then Captain Marvel activated, and there should have been an activation in between. That's what Miles should have activated, or Peter. But for Peter's activation, 1 long move wasn't enough to get him in the fray as much as he would have liked, so he had to double move, which got him within 1 of this console here. He paid 1 power to interact with the console targeting Spectrum, so she had a choice: drop the spider infected or take 1 damage, gain 1 power. She has chosen the latter, and that is the 1 damage from that. So at the end of Battle Round 1, the Mighty Avengers have 3 Spider infected. Captain Marvel is holding 1, Spectrum is holding 1, and Blue Marvel is holding 1. So they gained 3 from that, and Luke Cage is holding the back command console here for another 1, taking them to 4. The Web Warriors have the other 2 Spider infected. Gwen has 1 and Miles has 1 for 2, and then they hold 3 consoles. Gwen is holding this one, it didn't appear as well. 2099 Spider-Man is holding that one, and Miles is holding that one up there. So they're pulling ahead by just a single victory point with 5. So 5 plays 4 in the Web Warrior favour. But as we go into Battle Round 2 and people start getting moved by the Spider infected, the Mighty Avengers retain first activation. So Spectrum got turn 2 started for the Mighty Avengers, and she's only done 1 thing, but we're going to cover it first as a separate part because a lot happened. Turns out, I thought I'd spaced Peter far enough away from Gwen to not get beamed. They're just in, so fair enough. So that is 4 dice against each of them. Against Gwen, she got no successes. Against Peter, though, she managed to not only get 4, but a crit, which converted into another success. So that was 5 going in against him in his perfect spider sense. He generated 1 extra power by rolling a crit in his defense roll with full rerolls. Still managed to let 2 damage through after all that, though. So he hurt a little bit, and now Spectrum has enough to do her big spender, or she could do something else. We'll have to see. Yeah, she decided to use her big spender, which again, it is meant to cost 4, but on the printed card it says 0. It's a Pulsar Wave. She can choose whether it's physical or energy. 8 dice, range 3. She can get placed within 1 after resolving, and it's got a throw on a wild, which she did get. She did it into Amazing Spider-Man. There's too many Spider-Man. Peter. and managed to do pretty well. And with his defense roll, which you can see there in the blue dice, he managed to block 3, but that's still 2 more damage. He was thrown away medium just to get rid of him, and she placed within 1 to get right next to the objective there after that. So pretty powerful, as it turns out. Oh, just to be really mean, Spectrum had 1 power left after all that, so she spent it to interact with the console there, use it on Gwen, so Gwen is going to willingly take 1 damage rather than drop the Spider Infected. Speaking of the Spider Infected, totally forgot that they should have been moved at the start of the power phase, although as it turns out for the Mighty Avengers it did not matter. 3 of them are holding Spider Infected and not one of them rolled a hit crit or a wild. Miles did, so he has been moved ever so slightly off of the command point up there. And Gwen should have been moved, but because I've already done an activation now, so it's too late. She didn't get targeted by Spectrum's actual attacks, and she would only have been moved small, so she still would have been within 3 for the console to hurt her, so it doesn't change anything that's happened so far. So Gwen was first up for the Web Warriors, playing very conservatively. She has retreated from the command point she was trying to hold against Spectrum and is deciding to hold the back one instead, which will free up Spider-Man 2099 to go do some damage, which is probably the right choice. Carol was up next for the Mighty Avengers. She moved ever so slightly to where you can see her chasing down Miles there, then just did her basic Photon Blast, I think it is, her basic builder. 5 dice, the crit did not convert. 4 attacks coming in against Miles. He can reroll 2, this version of Miles, and he can modify skull results. That managed to change into 2 successful saves, so he still took 2 damage. And then Carol interacted with the console and did another 1 damage. So these consoles are doing really well for the Mighty Avengers just to do chip damage. Very active activation for Amazing Spider-Man there as he used Web Swing, so place within 3 and then add 2 dice to his next basic. Spider Strike I think it's called, which he did into Spectrum. That managed to get 4 hits through, only successful dice had been left behind due to the limited number of dice. She blocked none of that, so she took 4, leaving her on 1. So then Peter just did a basic strike again, hoping to do that 1 damage. He got 4, and Spectrum defended against all of it. So that meant he interacted with the console, and she had a choice. Drop the Spider Infected or take that 1 damage and get dazed and drop it anyway. She opted for the latter because that way she guarantees flipping for the top of the next turn and having a bunch of power to spend, as opposed to starting the next turn with 1 health, potentially losing priority, and then just getting dazed then and losing a turn next round. So choosing to do that now, plus Spider-Man 2099 or Miles could just go after her as well and do that last bit of damage. So she is opting to take that 1 damage. Peter is paying 1 to pick up that Spider Infected she was holding, and then also playing Aunt May's Wheat Cakes. Peter is paying 1, Gwen is paying 1, and Miles is paying 1 to all heal 1 damage. Blue Marvel is the second last activation this round for the Mighty Avengers, and he just double medium moved to put pressure on that back command console the Web Warriors are holding, and he paid his 3 power, which is how much he had, and it's a pick up character or terrain size 4 or less, within 3 I think, and throw medium, pretty strong. He picked up the Dormammu portal that had been right there, which oddly counts as size 2, which boggles the mind because it looks like it should be at least size 3. But either way, doesn't matter because with the new throw rules it's all flat 3 damage anyway. Chucked it at Gwen to try and take her out, and she just aced her dodge despite not having spider sense. Her initial roll was a skull and 2 crits, and 1 of the crits converted. So no damage dealt to her there, so that was really lucky. Spider-Man 2099 activated, and he has not finished his activation yet, but we're covering his first action, which was to spend 4 power on 2099 sends its regards. Range 3, 8 dice physical into Blue Marvel. It has, before damage is dealt, you stun and poison. However, Blue Marvel is immune to stun, which is pretty good. He is still poisoned though, from it, regardless of the roll. If you roll a wild, you can do a throw if it's size 4 or less. He didn't get the wild, he didn't even get a crit, so no extra power generation either. But he did manage to get 3 hits through, of which 2 were blocked by Blue Marvel. So that's still 1 damage plus the poison. He still has another action. He's probably just going to do his basic attack, but because of limited dice we had to split it up. Isn't it always the way with Crisis Protocol that your basic attacks, your builders, do more damage than your massive spenders? How weird is it? It always works out like that. Although Spider-Man 2099's basic attack is really good. It's only range 2, but it's 6 dice. And it has Pierce on wilds, and it has Heal on wilds. So he is able to heal himself for 1 as long as it does at least 1 damage. And he has Healing Factor 1. So he is pretty good. Anyway, he rolled relatively well, managing to get 4 and 1 pierce/heal. He's full health, so that's irrelevant. No successful blocks from Blue Marvel means that the full damage gets through and he is dazed. So he is dropping his spider infected. He has... Oh, that was his builder, yeah, so he does have power, so he will pick it up as well. So, I always forget how to pronounce his name, that's why I call him Spider-Man 2099. It's Miguel, right? Miguel O'Hara? O'Hara. Either way, he's now holding the spider infected and Blue Marvel is dazed, and that's crucial because in a game of 2 elite teams, you really want to be the one to be ahead in the damage curve. Last activation of Battle Round 2 for the Mighty Avengers is Luke Cage, who's opting just to chill. He's just standing there doing nothing. He could technically double move up to the secure that Captain Marvel is at to make sure that Miles can't contest it against her, but then Miles could just move to his one and claim that, so really it's just splitting hairs about how he would gain the 1 VP, so he's just going to stay there. Well, that was unexpected as Miles, Ultimate Spider-Man as he's known in this iteration, activated and did his basic swinging strike, which is range 3, 5 dice physical, and his initial roll had 3 crits in it. I think 2 of them converted, I think it was. Either way, he had 7 damage coming in against Captain Marvel's defense, and she goose-egged. She rolled literally no successes, which means she took the full 7 damage and has gone from healthy to dazed in 1 hit. Reports suggest that at the scene, Miles was heard to shout, "That's for Civil War 2. So, Carol is dazed, she's dropping her spider infected, Miles can't pick it up because he's holding 1, and he is just going to move onto that secure now that she's dazed. However, he is also playing Brief Respite, which is very similar to Aunt May's Wheat Cakes, but he has to be there to play it. He and Peter both played it, so they both paid 1 to heal 1 each, and because Peter had an activated token, he gets a refund on that power. It can also be used to heal status effects, but was not required. So that is pretty incredible and could be just horrible for the game going forward. So the Mighty Avengers with that absolutely insane spiking builder, I guess we'll see. I think that takes us to the end of the round also. So as we tally the points at the end of Battle Round 2, that was an insane swing for the Web Warriors, pardon the sort of pun. They have 4 spider infected, each of them are holding 1 of them, so that's 4, and they hold 3 of the consoles, so they gained 7 there and have gotten up to 12 of the 16 required to win. Just absolutely amazing. And conversely, the Mighty Avengers, Luke Cage is scoring them 1, and that's it. So they go up to 5. So 5 playing 12. The Mighty Avengers still have priority, though, as we go into a round in which a few of them are going to have a lot of power. 3 of them are flipping cards? Yeah, 3 of them are flipping. So they're going to have to do something amazing to bring this back. They might, you know how the dice are. They might just suddenly turn on the Web Warriors. But yeah, I'm very impressed with, well, Miles got super lucky there, but yeah, that new Miles and Spider-Man 2099 seem really good. As we open on turn 3, the spider-infected carrying people have to check if they are moved, small. And it's all the Web Warriors, and every single one of them does not need to be moved. The dice luck is still on their side. Miles rolled a shield, Spider-Man 2099 rolled nothing, and then skulls for Gwen and Peter, and it has to be a hit crit or a wild, so nothing there. Also in the power phase, phase manipulation is being used by Spectrum for the Mighty Avengers. It's free. At the start of the power phase, Spectrum can play this card when an allied character attacks this round after choosing an attack and before declaring a target, and don't really know why that's specified. If it's within 4, see that's confusing now, so does that mean the ally is within 4 or the enemy you haven't selected yet is within 4? Poorly written sentence. Of an allied Spectrum, yeah, so it doesn't specify. The attacking character then chooses whether or not they're attacking with physical, energy or mystic. Very, very poorly written card. Very poorly written card. I presume the fact that it says you haven't picked a target yet means the ally is within 4, so that's the way we're going to play it, but yeah, very badly written. To get the round started, Captain Marvel activated and she went full Super Saiyan because she had like 7 power, so she transformed into binary form. She then used Ready or Not, which is a free move, then attack, and she opted to move all the way down here. She was slightly up there, but she gets placed within 2 when she uses Warbird for 3 power, which is what she did. 8 dice into Spider-Man 2099. She ended up with 4 successes because she got a wild and a crit. It explodes and hit Gwen for 1 as well. For the save, it was nothing, so the dice have turned on Spider-Man 2099 and he took the full 4 damage. She still has an action left, but we needed to cover that first. She opted to spend 1 on her binary blast, I think it's called. Yeah, it was. Because everything on her flipped side or her binary side costs power. 6 dice into Spider-Man 2099. Managed to get 3 through, including incinerating him. He rolled 2 initial crits in his defense roll, one of those converted for 3 though, so he fully blocked the damage for that. But the incinerate, I think, still goes through, right? Yes. Yes, it does. No, the dice have chosen their Lord and Saviour, and it is Spider-Man 2099. He spent 3 on all webbed up to give the slow condition to Captain Marvel and Blue Marvel, and meaning he gets 2 extra dice against slow targets, so does anyone else attacking them. So he did his basic strike, which changes his 6 dice range 2 to 8 dice. He did it into Blue Marvel. This is still just his first action, by the way. And he got a crit, and all said and done, that's 6 damage. And Blue Marvel's defense roll is nothing. No skulls, which he would have counted as successes, as a reminder. Nothing. So he took 6 damage, and on his day's side, he has 6 health. So he's dead. He is gone. He has done the impossible and done basically nothing. So, yeah, Spider-Man 2099, he also had Pierce there anyway, so he would have got rid of 1 success if there had been any, and he's healing 1. And he has healing factor, so when he ends his turn, he's healing another 1. Wow, he is really good. And he still has another action, so you might as well attack Carol, sure. On second thought, rather than attacking her and just giving her more power, he is going to shake his Incinerate and get rid of that burning, so he has his full defense dice. At the end of his turn, healing factor kicks in, so now he's only got 2 damage on him. Over at this end of the table, Spectrum activated and spent 3 on going all out. She gets placed within 2 of herself, and then this turn, anyone she attacks, don't count crits as successes and don't add dice for crits on defense rolls. She then just did her basic Gamma Strike into Peter. 6 dice. He spent 1 on Witty Banter to reroll a success. She still managed to get 3 through, and even with the full Mastered Spider Sense rerolls, Peter managed to get nothing there, so I guess it kind of balances out a little bit. So he takes the full 3 damage. He's still standing on 1 health, but she still has another action. And sadly for Pete, he couldn't withstand a second Gamma Strike into his face, even after spending for Witty Banter again. 4 damage coming in, he only managed to block 1, so that's 3, and only 1 needed to get through. Spectrum is also paying 1 to pick up the Spider Infected. He is dropping, and that's him dazed, so he's not getting an activation. So what followed next was Gwen activating and being a bit of a wimp, and retreating all the way up there, not even helping secure down here. The reason for that though is, as it stands, Web Warriors, with how the dice have just massively gone in their favour, they're standing to earn 5 at present. If they only need 4 to win, and they're way ahead. So by her retreating over there, since she only has 1 health left, and then she'd drop a Spider Infected otherwise, she's kind of securing it, because if we come down here a little bit, Luke Cage has to activate, but 2 full medium moves would not get him to the secure that Spider-Man 2099 is on, so he would not be able to contest it. He could absolutely go up and contest the one Miles is at, which is, that's hard to say, Miles is at the top of the map, up there, but Miles hasn't activated yet, and will be going after Luke, so that rules that out as well, so I don't think there is any way to stop the Web Warriors winning. Yeah, so sure enough, Luke Cage moved up to the secure that Miles is currently holding. He interacted with it to do 1 damage to Miles out of spite, but that's not enough to take him down. That's just his second instance of damage after all that healing. So he's fine, and that means Miles can just activate, and with his similar move plus web swing, well, he's a long move actually, so easily he can just go grab the secure that Luke was on. In hindsight, yeah, if Luke had moved up there last turn, he could have at least grabbed the Spider Infected that's just been sitting on the floor, but that would only make a difference of 1 point, which won't change the outcome. And yep, we're sending this one home with Miles just activating and moving along down to the secure that Luke Cage was at, and that is going to be all she wrote. Let's go to the points. The Web Warriors still hold 3 Spider Infected, everybody except Peter, so that takes them 1 away from winning on their own, and then Miles is holding that secure, Spider-Man 2099 is holding that one because he's healthy and Captain Marvel is not, so that's 2 gained there, taking them to 17 of the 16 required to win. The Mighty Avengers, they are holding this secure, they're holding that secure, so they gain 2 there, and Spectrum is holding the Spider Infected that Peter had been holding, so they gained 3, taking them up to 8. So not a great showing there, but the dice very, very clearly had a chosen side there. And just to end on some final thoughts here, it is very hard to like give any kind of review of how Blue Marvel performed because he was defeated by the dice more so than like his balance. He counts skulls in his attack and defense and everything else. He counts them for his benefit, and he didn't roll a single one, I think, which is just horrendously unlucky. Not to mention just how lucky the average Web Warriors roll was there, especially Miles's basic strike just exploding and taking out Marvel in one hit. And Spider-Man 2099 just seems really, really good. In an elite list, I feel like the Web Warriors, if the dice had been more fair, it probably would not have done well for them being an elite list. Going wide and just trying to snatch and steal objectives and push and pull people is probably still their better option, but the dice were just completely on their side that time, and they very comfortably defeated the Mighty Avengers. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It has been a while since we played, so please do excuse any errors. If you want to support the channel and get video access early, please do consider becoming a channel member. If you want to pick up some Crisis Protocol for yourself, check out my channel sponsor in the affiliate link below. Or if you just want to say thanks and throw something the channel's way, pressing the thanks button on YouTube is a big help as well. Again, still trying to work out stuff with the new camera, so please do excuse any inconsistencies as we just continue. I'm tinkering with it until I find exactly how I like it. It's fighting me, but I'll get there with it. Maybe this one will be it, I don't know. It's hard to tell on the little screen. It all comes down to what it looks like edited, but you can let me know if you liked it, visuals wise. And with that, we'll see you in the future for more. Ta-ta for now.